All right, what's up, guys? This is Race Talk Podcast Live. We are live on YouTube and Facebook via StreamYard. Today, I have my co-host John and Austin Vandall. Austin was actually out of town last week, so he couldn't be us on that first episode, but he's here today. And then I have a dirt track racer named Tim. Tim, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you race and how long you've been racing and where you race at?
Oh man, my name's Tim Steis. I've been doing this for 22 years. I run a pure stock, strictly stock. There's so many different names across the country that it's take your pick.
There's your buddy.
Run mainly the local tracks. Got Hummingbird Speedway in Falls Creek, Pennsylvania. Thunder Mountain Speedway in Brookville, Knoxdale. McKean County Fair Raceway up in Smethport, Pennsylvania. And the little bull ring up in Rood, they just call it the old Bradford Speedway.
Nice.
Turn your camera on and say hello.
I'm sharing the show to the groups and stuff, so we get some more viewers. So Tim, where is your So do you race weekly?
No.
Yeah, sometimes 3 nights a week. We're basically 2 nights a week. Yeah, we run Thunder Mountain Friday nights and Hummingbird Saturday nights. And McKean County has 8 shows this year, and they're most of them are Thursday nights. I missed the one next week. It's this Saturday. I can't race there. Bradford Sunday track, so no, actually, I can race for next week.
Nice. All right. Don't know what happened there, but okay. So John and Austin, so you two worked this weekend, correct?
Oh yeah.
Who did you guys work for this weekend?
We both pitted the 33 truck. Keith McGee drove it, and then I was on the 47. Xfinity, yeah, he's on the 78 Xfinity car. So it's hot. I don't know whose idea it was to race the second week of July in Texas during the day. 2 races in one day, especially. But
right.
It was a little cooker.
Cause didn't you say you was sweating like a pig and had got dehydrated or something? You say you got dehydrated a little bit? Yeah,
I had to go after the Xfinity race and get 2 bags of IVs of fluids for the because I quit sweating. I don't know how many gallons of between Gatorade and water I drank, but I was cooked. It was a hot day.
Okay. And what about you, Austin? How'd your day go?
It was hot. I about got cooked the first race, but what saved me was the team I was working for had a fan and shade and all that in their pit box, so it worked pretty good for me at the end. Felt better the second race than I did the first race.
That's good. That's good. All right, so it was a busy race weekend. We had SRX, IMSA in Detroit, IndyCar in Detroit for those 2 races. You had the Truck, Xfinity, and Cup in Texas. We're going to start with the SRX race. Did you guys happen to catch that race?
I got to watch. Well, me and Austin both got to watch about the last segment of it. I watched some of it while I was in infield care. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty ironic that a local driver won their first race.
Right.
The big legends. But it looked like it could be a good show.
Oh yeah, especially with the back and forth.
Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of expectations going in watching it, but it seemed like a good race. I've never seen any other series race on that track, so it's hard for me to judge it compared to a weekly series or whatever's normally there and all. But it looked. I like seeing the legends run. So.
Oh yeah.
So that's
I've
cool.
seen the old Biff up there running up pretty good. I was like, I didn't know this boy could race short track like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked seeing him, Bobby run up front. A couple of them think it was Mario Andretti had one of the Andretti's. Seemed like he had a little bit.
Marco, it was Marco.
Marco, yeah, he seemed like he had some trouble. He got involved in a few accidents and stuff. But it was like I said, it was without having really any expectations of how the first race was going to go. It was pretty. It's pretty good show. I enjoyed it because it's like it reminds me of the days like because back in 2016, our local track, Columbus Motor Speedway, was shut down by the city of Obetz because the track owner actually sold it, and they tore it up and turned it into a lacrosse field, and that professional lacrosse team actually left Ohio. So I feel like it was a waste because there we had like people like Bubba Wallace's race there, Daniel Suarez, Chase Elliott. We had the K&N series there a few times. There was a time where I actually got to work the infield in a tow truck and actually got to meet Daniel Suarez the night that he won. Cool.
So he's a pretty good guy. Yep. Like we had modifieds, we had crazy compacts, we had late models, we had super late models up until I'd say about maybe 2012. They got rid of those. I can't remember when because I know they merged the two divisions together. Now, Tim, you said you race pure stock, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what exactly is pure stock exactly?
Just a standard chassis car with a cage on it. We're limited to 8-inch rims and tires. 358 cubic inch limit. It started when we first started. He was only allowed a 2-barrel carburetor and a standard clutch. But it kind of evolved. Now we're allowed multi-disc clutches and vacuum secondary 4-barrel carburetors. It's kind of got a little bit out of hand, a little pricey. Hoping it doesn't go any further than what it already has. Because our street stock division, it jumped up. Now they call them pro stocks, and it's pretty much unlimited chassis car. It's that, our cars kind of replicate somewhat what you'd see on the road. Here, I'll let you take a look.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice one.
That's basically what you're going to get. Some people still stick with the old steel bodies, which actually that's a rule in some places in Pennsylvania. You know, you got to stick with the old steel body because I guess you can still buy them through Speedway or 5-Star or something. Like I said, we kind of evolved a little bit, and we're hoping it stays where it's at.
Yeah, there's nothing about racing gets cheaper.
Yeah, this is true.
Did you no, I didn't have a chance. Now I know the dirt late model dream was over the weekend. I know Larson didn't win that. I thought, for a second I was like, okay, you got Kyle Larson in the dirt late model. Okay, let's see. Let's watch him just completely dominate. I'm not sure who was it that won exactly? I can't remember.
Overton. Brandon Overton.
Oh, okay. Nice. All right.
Kyle Larson didn't have a bad weekend though. He won what? $1,006,000 or something in 2 days.
Yep. And then just last night here in Ohio, he won another dirt race.
Yeah, that was the one I was talking about. I was with $6,000 to win or something. He won $1 million the night before. Not to mention what he won over at the Dream there in them 4 days. So he had a pretty good weekend.
He did. And so Austin, I didn't really get to. So since you missed our broadcast last week, I didn't really get a chance to get to know your background as how you got into racing.
Well, we are. Right.
Okay.
Last
Okay.
Give it
Xander.
Yeah, right there, John.
Yeah, I was trying to get my wife's attention.
Oh.
She was doing something. I told her just go ahead and lock the door.
Oh. So I don't know if you saw, but it looks like Kevin Harvick is going to have old grave digger paint scheme this weekend at Nashville.
No,
I had been seeing. Well, I seen something today. Some linked it today, and I seen this like it had like Stuart Harsh Racing. I posted like the giant grave digger wheel, and it said special thanks to Monster Jam for our new wheels. And I'm thinking, so is he really running this Monster Jam truck paint scheme, or is this just like for like I don't know, like sponsorship or something? So I know, as I know, Harvick's last win was Bristol of last fall.
Wow, it's hard to believe it's been that long.
I know. And then you got let's see, Nashville this weekend. Nashville. So I seen today where the last time there was a NASCAR race in Nashville, it was actually won by Carl Edwards in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, that'd be right. I think I said last week. I forget when they quit going there. As much as technology's changed and all that stuff, I think that it's gonna be like going to a new track. I mean, you can't
definitely.
like you can have notes from 10 years ago, you know, to set up the car. Like it's gonna be a new track, and so we're gonna get a little bit of practice this week. Trying to burn myself this week, but hopefully it's not as hot.
So but it shouldn't be. Tennessee, it shouldn't be too hot.
Can't be hotter than Texas.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I'm watching this race. I'm watching these guys slipping and sliding. I'm like, whose idea was it to throw these guys in the Texas heat in the middle of freaking June?
Tim probably thinks slipping and sliding is the only way to drive.
Hey, it wasn't none too chilly up here this past week either. We were hot and muggy. We were in the 80s. Yeah. 80s and 85, 90% humidity. So.
Oh, fun time.
Trust me when I tell you, I know what you were feeling.
Yeah, it's not fun. I guess I got a question for Tim. You're talking about racing, up to 3 times a weekend at different tracks, like in dirt, because I don't have next to any experience in dirt. How hard is it to take a car on Friday and race at a different track on Saturday? Like, I know that you said like you're kind of limited in what you can do, but I know setup wise, if there was certain things that you would have to like burn the midnight oil on to get ready for the next one, or
not really. My car's it's pretty neutral all the time. I get lucky if we race Thursday and Friday, both tracks are similar, so I can keep the same gears in it. And then from Friday to Saturday, all we do is change gears and go back to the original setup. We got the original setup on the car for the heat race. And after the heat race, I go back in, either make the choice, we either put in a tall spring or we just dial rounds into the spring we got in there. Like the Friday night track, I usually put the tall spring in. We tried the tall spring at the Saturday night track. It was okay, but it just seems like putting rounds into the normal setup on a Saturday night track. So basically, I got 35 minutes into changing the car over. 35 minutes to change gears and take the rounds back out of the spring. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. At least you're not. I know like around here, my local, I guess this local racetrack, Bowman Gray, and then you have like a Caraway. I mean, these are asphalt tracks. Those guys, they race, 2 different nights, and it's just they're the whole. You might as well be bringing a different car.
Well, like you said, the technology now is just far away. I mean, when I started in a little rear-wheel drive Force, and I drove a Mustang. Then I jumped up to a late model, and that was the old oil-filled AFCO shocks. And I took a break for a couple years, tried to get back in it, and then they got these, triple, double adjustable gas shocks and all these light springs, and I just couldn't grasp the technology. There's no way I could run a late model again. That's why we went back. I went back to this pure stock, and I'm telling you, I'm having so much fun. I've been in it for the last 5 years, and I've had more fun in the last 5 years than I've had in the other 17 years combined. Because it's that much simpler. It's not quite as stressful, because a car like this, if I bend it, I just cut that piece out and put a new piece in.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, you bend an XR, you got to take it back to Mark or an authorized rocket dealer, or, you know, you bend a Longhorn, it got to go back to Labonte, you know, so that's kind of why I like this one.
Yeah, that's the thing a lot of people lose once you get into it. It's all about winning and less about having fun. If you can hold on to having fun and happen to win one, it's a lot better.
Yeah, well, we've been pretty fortunate. So far, we won 5 out of 8 this year.
Hey.
We average we average about 4 wins. I've averaged about 4 wins a season for the last 4 seasons. So, I mean, we've been pretty fortunate. Luck has a lot to do with it, you know. How durable is your equipment? Can you make the motor last a whole season? You know, because that's the main expense. You know, once you get everything, it's not that hard to keep it, except for your engine. You know, because you just send your engine out every year to get refreshed. You lose a motor, and you know that's the big deal right there.
Yeah. Yeah, motors are. Yeah, that's another thing that's not getting any cheaper. Any kind of motor.
Yeah, I mean, we're not spending what they spend 50,000-60,000 for a Clements motor or whatever Hendrick's building down there, but you know, $3,800, $4,000 out of a working man's pocket, you know, just to go have fun.
Yeah,
you know, it can hurt. It can sting a little bit.
Yeah, especially whenever, you know, I know a lot of local tracks, their payouts aren't. You're never good. You can't make the money from racing.
This is true.
Yeah, you got.
I was once told if you want to make $1 million racing, start with 2.
Yep, that's very true.
That's pretty interesting, Tim. That's actually pretty cool. So you said you won 5 out of the last 8?
Yeah. Like I said, I've been lucky this year. We got a good piece. So
what's your fastest time this year?
Geez. Ran like a 16.4 at Hummingbird. It's a third of a mile track. So I mean that was just the first day of practice. We went out, we broke the car out. That's a track record now. But lately we've been running right around 17 flat around there. So, you know, and then there's a couple other cars that we run pretty much within 2 to 3 tenths of each other. Sometimes we run identical lap times. Two races ago, me and the kid that finished second, we had identical lap times 4 laps in a row. So
interesting. Now, I know that they said that next year Bristol's going back to dirt. Would you run in the Bristol Nationals next year?
No way. I watched the carnage on YouTube this year. I have no desire to go down there and bend my car all up, and you know, and the weather was a crapshoot. You know, it didn't end up the best for their show for that week. You know, because we had I don't know 6 or 7 locals go down for the Stinger class or 4-cylinder class, whatever it is, and they walked out of there with some pretty harsh feelings because they didn't get their time on the track that they deserved, so they thought, and I don't know, put a bad taste in their mouth. But you know that's just a crapshoot. You know, for me that's 10 hours. That's 10 hours. That's 10 hours by a car. So you figure towing a trailer, I'm probably 14 hours out with a 3/4 ton truck and a 24-foot enclosed trailer. And then I got 4 or 5 nights I'm staying there. You know, and they made a pile of junk down there this year. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was watching that and I'm like, okay, so I feel like, let's see. So you're gonna put these heavy horsepower stock cars on dirt. Cup cars have not raced in dirt in over 50-something years, and you see nothing but dust just everywhere. And I was like, how? And then you tried to put the trucks out there after it done rained. And then you're gonna as soon as they turn the lap screen, you got mud everywhere, and I'm just like, you know what? Oh Lord, this is not gonna end well.
Yep.
Sure enough.
That's what we face every weekend. I mean, last year we had a dry season. This year we've already had 2 or 3 rainouts. You know, and we're getting rain off and on. It's been one of the wettest summers, and summer hasn't even barely started yet. Like we got the World Outlaws coming to town here in 2 days. They got a Thursday night show up at State Line up there in the Pennsylvania New York State Line, about 45 minutes from here.
Is it the sprints or the late models?
Late models. There is no other late or outlaws, but late models, right?
And the sprint cars.
If you can call that a car, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. That's a big debate up here. And then Friday night they come from up there. They come down to one of my home tracks down at Thunder Mountain there in Knoxdale. So we're hoping the weather cooperates. So far, it looks like it's going to, but same with them guys. It's always a crapshoot. They never know. You know, they're on the road. What do they race? 65 nights out of the year or something. And last year was its own animal with COVID, but
it was.
So
yeah, it's like John said last week when they went back to Darlington. It was like week 1 again. Everybody's getting back to the track, meeting up for the first race of the year. He said it was kind of like Daytona Speed Weeks.
Yeah,
just without the fans.
Yeah.
And I bet it's kind of nice to see the fans back at the races now.
Yeah. Well, it didn't affect our 2 hometown tracks very much last year. I mean, there were some tracks that they said, "Oh, we're racing no matter what," and the cop showed up, you know, and they're like, "Just checked it out," but nothing ever really became of it. You know, it just so happened that dirt tracks usually they're down in a hole, so you got a whole hillside. So, I mean, you can keep your 6 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet, whatever you want to keep. So, I mean, you know, it's a wide open venue. So I guess we kind of made out like that. It was a short season for sure, but at least we got to race. You know, up in New York with Governor Cuomo and them guys up there, they shut all them tracks were shut down.
Yeah, I know last year Ohio lost Eldora and Mid Ohio races last year, and this year they didn't even put the truck series didn't even put Eldora on the speedway because apparently, you know how Tony Stewart is. He gets mad. He gets mad about some. You ain't doing it. So he. We all know how old Smoke is. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to that Nashville race for the truck series. I'm looking forward to the Nashville, the Xfinity. I'm looking to see if Kyle Busch can win the 100th victory and then they retire from the Xfinity series. I doubt it, but
he's already said that he sold races, or Joe Gibbs has sold races for him next year.
Yeah, I saw that.
Series, so he's not going anywhere.
Right. Until he says I'm done. Now, the Cup race at Nashville, that should be very interesting. You know, these guys, they've never raced. Now, the majority of these guys, like Austin Dillon, Ty Dillon, a bunch of these guys that raced Xfinity over the years have raced at Nashville, like Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, a bunch of those guys that's been around for a while, you know, because they're racing the truck and Xfinity there in Nashville. So, a lot of these new guys that's in the Cup now, it's going to be like their first trip to this track. So that should be very interesting. It's a sold-out crowd.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's a good show. I always hope it's a good, especially with all the unknowns.
True.
Good stuff comes from it.
Because I think they said there was 43 trucks entered this weekend.
I think so, and they're going to start 36, I think. 36.
Yeah, 36 trucks, yeah. I'm not sure how many cars are entered for the truck and for the Cup and Xfinity.
I think 42 for the Xfinity. And they're only going to start 36. I don't get it. We used to race 43 cars everywhere. I don't know why.
Right. I kind of missed it. I think it's because of like the charter system and stuff and the teams and the money and stuff over the years. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Charter
but that All-Star race, those rounds, I kind of like the way they had the format this year for the All-Star race. I kind of wish it was in Charlotte, but you know.
Yeah, the format wasn't. It was really gimmicky, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Texas anyway. Like the racing it puts on. So So
Yeah.
I'd rather see the AllStar Race at a short track.
Oh yeah, like Richmond, Martinsville, back to Bristol.
Yeah, the AllStar Race. I mean, I think if you're going to do a dirt track race, you might as well do that one on dirt. I mean,
I agree.
And bring all the winners from all three series and put them all on the same track, and they'd all kind of basically be on level playing. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of miss. I used to love watching the Prelude to the Dream that Tony Stewart would run out of Eldora. I kind of wish he would do that again. But I know he's got Eldora, and then he's got the All-Star Sprint Car Series. Whatever the hell it's called. I don't know what it's called anymore.
Yeah. The SRX or whatever.
Yeah. Plus, that's right. So he's got SRX plus his Sprint Car Series that he owns. I think it's called All-Star Sprint Car Racing, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I know. Let's see.
I think if they're going to do a dirt race, they ought to put them in dirt cars. You know.
I agree.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily have to be a late model. Hell, put them in a big block modified, or make them run an E-mod. You know, Joey Logano tried that shit at Bristol. Didn't do it too well, but he tried it. You know.
Yeah, they
every other year. You know, rotate cars every year. You know, super late one year, E-mod next year, big block modified following year, and then keep rotating around.
Yeah, the way that they do it, which is kind of funny, they bring like basically their biggest piece of junk chassis to a dirt track. and if you ever actually looked at them up close, they look about like the local series, you know, where it's not polished fenders and all that stuff. I mean, there's nothing about a dirt track car or a nice car that's a normal race car.
Yeah.
True. Very true.
But yeah, I don't know why they don't. I guess they have to maintain their look and stuff. But a lot of the rules are relaxed. They let them put the like rock card and stuff like that on the front of the cars this year, and I don't know. I think who runs a dirt race with a windshield? Like,
yeah,
I mean,
exactly. That was a comment I was going to make. You know, but didn't they have the issue at Bristol in the truck race that nobody could see?
Yeah. That's right.
It's like take the window up, put like a screen up or something.
Well, that's what we have in ours.
I mean, they didn't have that issue when it came to Eldora for the truck. So I don't know. I don't understand what the issue was this time with Bristol. I don't know.
Well, like I said, weather played a big factor in Bristol.
That is true.
Year, so.
It did.
And I think it's something too to be a dirt track that's a dirt track and not a dirt track that has concrete underneath all of it.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it's banked pretty high. Yeah, the banking, because I think the Word of Outlaw set a new track record twice that weekend, I believe. I think they set it twice in one day.
They probably did.
Yeah, I think Ricky Weiss did it, and then didn't Kyle Larson have a record there for a minute or two?
I believe so. Yes, he did.
Yeah, the like Southern modifieds, they at Bristol, the bigger the motor and the less they weigh, Bristol, everything will set that track on fire. Nope. I think Ryan Newman run I know it was a sub 13 second lap in back whenever they used to run. Well, I guess they still do run the Southern modified stuff out there.
Isn't that the stuff they run at Bowman Gray?
Yeah,
I think so. So I know they just had that. They just had that big feature over the weekend, didn't they? Or was that last weekend?
at Bowman Gray.
Yeah, it was a 100-lap feature, wasn't it?
Yeah, they was it this week? I'm always running together. They just started back for the first time in 2 years.
Right.
And, that's usually what they start with is a 100-lap, 100-lap modified feature, and then they'll do different stuff throughout it. That's what I'm hoping. One of the things, like that's what I miss about what I do is getting to go to Bowman Gray or Caraway or Hickory or the local stuff, because for a lot of us, it's a job, and like Tim said, it's nice to go out and see people having fun with racing, not just there to make a living.
True.
So I'm hoping I get to Bowman Gray at least once this year. Obviously last year, and I don't remember if I went the year before that. I think I made it to 1 2 years ago. But I hope to get back out there, even though it's basically just wrestling on wheels there. You can't pass. You got to move people.
I know. Let's see. I know Saturday and Sunday. Before we wrap up, we're gonna cover the last couple of series that raced over the weekend. I know in the International Motorsports Sports Car Association in the Daytona Prototype division, Chip Ganassi won that class and actually won overall in the 01 with the 01 team. Yeah, and then the GT Le Mans Team Chevy's number 4 Corvette, they won that. They finished second in their. They won there. It's stupid how the sports car series has like different classes. Just have one overall winner.
Yeah.
And then the 3019 from GTD. But I know IndyCar, they had a first-time winner after, I think he's been, Marcus Ericsson, he had been in IndyCar for about a few years. I know he took over I believe he took over for James Hinchcliffe when James Hinchcliffe left the Aero team and left the sport for a while, because I know he had other ventures that he wanted to do. I know he was on Dancing with the Stars, that silly reality show crap, you know. And he won that. And then the second race went to Palto O'Ward. Still weird name. And I know Rick Real Racing announced today that Cody Rare is actually going to be racing at Road America in a second RWR car for the IndyCar series against Romain Grosjean, however you say his name. He's going to be his teammate with him driving the 52 car, which is ironic, his cup number.
Yeah. Rick likes those 50 numbers.
And I've noticed that you got like 51, 50, 53, 52. It's so confusing sometimes. You never know who's in which car each week.
Yeah, it's one of those. Depends on who's got the money for the ride, I think.
True. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Rico Racing. I mean, he's got a decent amount of drivers. I know they finished like maybe like top 20, maybe like in the 20s or 30s. But I know it's like they're still like a young team. They're still working their way up. I know they're mostly sports cars. I know. I think Cody Rare has a Le Mans Asian Championship. I think from a couple years ago.
They won some kind of Lamborghini class or something somewhere over in Asia. I know they won at least one race.
Yeah.
I think there was only 2 or 3 cars involved, like in the race. And it was one of those. There was different classes, and there was only a couple that showed up for that class.
Yeah.
Rick, I think his stuff is more. His business plan is kind of. He has enough cars that it pays enough for him with the charters and stuff. That they're not. They're there to race, but he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to have 4 cars finish in the top 20 to pay the bills. He's making enough money with his 4 cars that 30th place finishes pays all the stuff he needs to pay. So he go ahead.
Now with the other team, with the newer team, 2311. Now I understand what Michael Jordan's trying to do by getting into the sport of NASCAR, but these 25 and below finishes isn't really going to help your race team out. But I heard rumors, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I heard that possibly they're going to have a second car next year with, I think, maybe possibly Kurt Busch in that second team for 2311. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm hearing so many different news and stuff around it, but it's just he said, she said at this point,
Yeah, it's silly season. I mean, it's waiting on the first one to move, and then the rest of them will do what It's just one of those waiting on one domino to, because if Kurt does go there, then that's the first domino, and you're gonna see all kinds of stuff happening.
Right. Just like you got that big news of possibly Brad Keselowski going over to Roush and forming Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing.
Yeah, I can see that because he was a truck team owner, and
I kind of missed that team. He had what, Chase Briscoe, and who was the other driver he had? Wasn't it Tyler Riddick? If I remember right.
No, maybe. I can't remember. My years run together. I'm sure Tim can attest. You do this enough, it starts to get fuzzy.
But now this weekend, I'm thinking, I'm not sure who is running. Is it Kyle that's running the 54 in the Xfinity, or is it Ty Gibbs? I know Kyle Busch says he's racing this weekend in the Xfinity series, but I'm not sure if it's with the 54, if it's a different number.
I think Kyle's in the 54. I think.
Okay.
I
know his truck team. His truck team's doing pretty good. John Hunter Nemechek winning again this year.
Yeah, John Hunter Nemechek. I mean, he's a driver. He's got a lot of talent, and now that he's in top equipment, it's like Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson had all the talent in the world, but you can take a 15th place car and make it off of talent and make it a top 10 car, occasionally top 5. You might slide in there and win one occasionally, but he's in a top 5, top 10 car now, and so his talent, he should win. As soon as I seen that was coming out, I was like, well, Kyle Larson's gonna win half of them this year.
Right, like as soon as I seen it, was like, because what I was discussing with my mom yesterday, I said you don't have Johnson anymore, and then you don't have Junior anymore, so you have 4 young guys. You got Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, who was driving the wheels off this year in that 48 machine.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. And then you got Kyle Larson in the 5. And what I love about that car is that paint scheme. That paint scheme is very iconic. It's me, in my 24 years of a racing fan, I was upset and I cried when I heard about Ricky Hendrick and that plane crash and stuff in 2006, and seeing that 5 car with that paint scheme winning all these races, it really means a lot. It's emotional seeing all that. It's like Rick Hendrick knows what he's doing. Then you got Chase Elliott, who's won a race. You got William Byron, who's won 2. Me, growing up a Gordon fan, seeing those collars on that 24 car brings back a lot of memories from my childhood.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's why I always enjoy the throwback weekends, seeing the races from your. Yeah, I mean, I'm in my 30s, so I've seen. Seen my share of iconic schemes. It's cool to see him on the track, especially being there now that I'm. In board and seeing it.
Mm-hmm. I'd tell you my favorite. Right. I'd tell you my favorite scheme from these throwback weekends has to be William Byron's Days of Thunder throwback from 2019.
Yeah. That was good.
Tyler Erb just ran one of those this weekend too, or last weekend on his late.
Who did?
Tyler Erb.
Nice.
Turbo.
For some reason, I feel like I saw it.
Was it the
best motorsports team? He was actually the 46. They even called him Cole Erb.
And I think Spencer Boyd ran a late model too, with the number 1 on the side with the Days of Thunder Chevy scheme with the green and yellow. I thought that was pretty cool because I seen he posted on TikTok. I'm like, oh, sweet.
Did you guys catch a clip earlier this week where Red Farmer ran with his grandson?
Uh-huh.
I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, holy shit, that guy, I've raced with Red. He's come up in our neck of the woods when I was in a late model, and I was actually on the track with that man. And
it's crazy.
He's pretty remarkable for his age.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's crazy to think how long he's been doing it.
Yeah.
All right, kind of reminds me of Morgan Shepherd.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I haven't seen Morgan Shepherd this year.
Yeah, they're not. Without practice and qualifying stuff, he can't. He's not able. They could qualify in the races. They had. I mean, Landon Castle would come out there and qualify in the top 10, but
I forgot all about him.
Yeah, they just don't have the financing to run full races, so he would never be. And not being a chartered team or in the top.
Right. The same with Carl Long. I think that's it. Carl Long.
Yeah, the 13
Same with
car.
him too. Yeah.
Yeah. See, the thing with NASCAR, like the way that they're doing it, because of if you're not in the top 31 in points, I think, and you don't have a charter, you then the most you can make is like $4,000. You can win the race, your paycheck is your check from the race is $4,000. Now there's teams that can go out there with the sponsorship and all that stuff and make enough money to make it kind of worth it and try to build points. A team like Morgan Shepherd, he doesn't have the sponsorship money. He's going to go out there, maybe have one set of tires, which is going to be $2,500, and then and the most he can make is $4,000 to run around. And by the time it would cost him money to go race now.
Yeah.
So until something changes on that end, it doesn't make sense for him to go, which sucks because he's been around forever, and that something like that to put that team out, that you just hate to see it.
Yeah, it's like I miss him with some of those guys running around, like those part-time teams like, Morgan Shepherd, Carl Long, hell, even Derek Hope.
Yeah. Well, Derek
So,
Hope still has, he's the manager of Starcom.
yeah, who is the driver for Starcom? It's Gruff, isn't it? Huff,
Quinn
Gruff.
Hall.
I don't.
Quinn Hall.
Okay, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Runs in the back anyway. But I tell you, I think the only time when some of these drivers have a chance to actually win something is Daytona and Talladega.
Yeah. That's why.
I mean, look at Michael.
Show up to those races.
Yeah, I mean, look at Michael McDowell, for example. No one knew that out of nowhere, here comes Michael McDowell. Has been in this series for a long time. I think, maybe 12, 15 years. Finally gets that first win. And, that win's always going to mean something. That first one's going to mean something, whether it's at Bristol, Martinsville, Kentucky, or, Darlington. But winning at the Daytona coming as your first win, I mean, it reminds me of Michael Waltrip in 2001. Unfortunately, it wasn't the way under good circumstances when he won in 2001.
Yeah.
But I tell you, so Austin, what teams have you worked for in the past that you've liked working with?
I've liked working for them all, but I work for Josh Ray, BJ Cloud. I work with Nice for one race, and I'm usually a week with Josh and BJ.
Nice. Well, I say this has been a pretty fun show, guys.
Yeah.
Covered a lot.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Tim, I'll have to. If you ever want to be back on the show again, just let me know. We'll have you back on again.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and then next Monday, I have a one-on-one interview with 24 Series and GT4 America driver Samantha Tan. I reached out to her on Instagram and she agreed to be on the show for a one-on-one interview with me. So that's happening Monday at 5.
Cool.
Be awesome.
Yeah, so I'll have that one-on-one. And then Tuesday, I might have a show Tuesday night. I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
But I'm sure we're getting like 15, 20 minutes, just bullshit around, talk for the upcoming weekend, cover Nashville. Because I do want to cover Nashville, with it being the first time there and stuff for a while. So we'll cover Nashville. And then and then I'm going to continue to reach out, see if there's anybody that would want to be on the show stuff and interview them and hopefully get us put out there.
Go. Yeah, sounds good. Just let us know.
Yep.
We'll,
So predictions for Nashville.
That's hard to do, especially not. I mean, it's its own animal with the concrete. And,
I'm going to go on. Say Carl Larson's going to do something pretty good.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. I'm sure the Hendrick cars will be up there.
Oh yeah.
Penske cars seem to they ran good at Texas. About as close as anybody got to Hendricks. So I could see them being decent. I'm trying to remember who run decent at Dover, but I can't remember.
Hendrick, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, besides them.
It's like, well, I'm trying to figure. It's like last year, Stewart's Hush Racing was on top of it. This year, it's like I'm thinking it's like is Smoke focused on SRX more than his own NASCAR team?
Yeah, they're. I don't know. It's one of those. NASCAR is kind of an ebb and flow thing. You have momentum one year, you expect them to come in and rock the world the next year, and it just falls. You know, the momentum dies, and all of a sudden you're wondering where they're all at.
Well, Tim, before we sign off, do you have any thoughts or anything about the upcoming weekend, or what you have, or if you have like any racing going on this weekend?
Oh yeah, we're like I said, I'm going to go to the Outlaw Show Friday to watch. They dropped our class for them to bring them guys in, and we'll race Saturday night. Hopefully, we'll be lucky enough to be somewhere toward the front. You know, that way we can afford to go racing next weekend. Quick plug for two of the groups. You get on YouTube there, find Redneck Race Chasers. Some of the best dirt track videos around, and that's from the local tracks. You know, they haven't done many of mine, but if you look, you can go to Stephen Curry's YouTube page, and that's where you find me. So I mean, they're pretty short clips. He edits out most of the cautions. Like you can watch Heat Race in 2 minutes and 13 seconds. So
nice.
Yeah, check out Stephen Curry, or just type in Hummingbird Speedway, and you'll find us there.
Yeah.
So
any final thoughts, Austin?
Nah, just ready to be back. Okay.
All right. What about you, John?
Basically the same thing with this is what Austin said.
All right, guys. Well, you have a wonderful night. Have a great race weekend, and good luck, Tim.
you too. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.